For this section, we're going to talk about plane figures and solids. And before we dive into this too much, I want to remind you of what a plane is. So a plane is a flat surface that extends indefinitely. It'd be cool if I could spell, huh? Indefinitely. Okay, so what we need to understand is this doesn't extend like in every single possible direction indefinitely. So imagine you have a house, you bust down all the walls, you get rid of the ground, and you have just space. Okay, now imagine one of those walls you didn't bust down and it extends up, down, kind of like left, right indefinitely. Okay, so it doesn't extend in 3 dimensions, it extends indefinitely in 2 dimensions. So these planes have length and width. That's it. So kind of remember that. So space encompasses like everything, and then a plane is just this flat surface that extends left, right, up, down. So it extends in the length and it extends in the width indefinitely. Okay. Now that leads us to these definitions. So a plane figure is a figure that lies in a plane. Okay. So think of something that we could draw on a piece of paper. That would be a plane figure. Okay. Plane figures have length and width, but no thickness or depth. Okay. So because a plane only has 2 dimensions, length and width, the figures that live on a plane can only have, essentially 2 dimensions, length and width. Okay. So a polygon is a special type of closed plane figure. Okay. That consists of 3 or more line segments that meet at their endpoints. That's a very fancy way of saying a flat enclosed figure made up of 3 or more sides. Okay. So what I mean by flat is it has to live on a plane, so it can only have like really 2 dimensions, length and width. Okay. Enclosed means all of the sides have to meet at those endpoints. Okay. And in order to have sides meet, you have to have at least 3. If you only have 2 sides, you can't make them meet. Okay. But 3 or more sides, you can make those sides meet and it encloses this figure. Okay. Now, a regular polygon is a special type of polygon. Okay. And it's one whose sides are all the same length and whose angles all have the same measure. So let's kind of think about that. So imagine, let's do a 4-sided figure. So generically speaking, 4-sided figures are called quadrilaterals. Okay. So imagine a 4-sided figure where all of the sides have the same length, hence a square. And then when you have a polygon, all of these inside corners where the endpoints meet up, all of those corners create angles, okay? So this is a little angle here, 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 and here. And if you have a regular polygon, all of those angles are going to have the same measure. So a regular polygon would be in the world of quadrilaterals, would be a square, okay? If we're dealing with a triangle, we would have a triangle like this, where all of the sides have the same measure, and then all of these corners are angles, and all of the angles would have the same measure. Okay, now kind of to envision the idea of just a polygon that is not considered regular, consider a quadrilateral. Well, let's do a 6-sided figure. That'll be easier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be a 6-sided figure that is not regular. None of the sides necessarily have the same length, and you've got all these angles that don't necessarily have the same measure. So regular, everything is kind of the same. All the sides are the same length, all the angles are the same measure. Not regular, just a plain old polygon, it could be anything. As long as you have a certain number of sides, you're good. Okay, so example 1, it says name each polygon and list the number of sides. Well, I'm going to start by counting the number of sides, and then we're going to be able to very easily name our polygons because we name our polygons based on the number of sides they have. Okay, so down here, we know that we know the shape is a triangle. We're not going to try to like pretend we don't know this, but it's a triangle because it has 1, 2, 3 sides. In math, or just really in the world in general, the way we indicate 3 is tri. So this is a triangle. So 3 angles. Okay. Now, next, I know that you all are screaming, it's a square. It looks like a square. We can't say definitively it's a square until we're told that all of the sides really are the same length. But at this point, we don't really name the polygon a square. A square is a type of polygon, but in this case, we want to call these quadrilaterals, okay? Because any four-sided figure is a quadrilateral. To be a square, you have to meet even more specific criteria. So this has one, two, three, four sides. Four sides equals a quadrilateral. So quadrilateral. Okay. Now, next up, a lot of us know this because we have a government building in this very shape. So we have one, two, three, four, five sides. Five sides equals, well, in the world, when you're dealing with five sides, you're thinking pent, so pentagon. All right. Next up, we have one, two, three, four, five, six sides. So six sides would be hex, so hexagon. And then I guess I didn't have figures that were the same, like from the same place, because I usually just steal these figures from the internet. So these last two don't look the same, as in the same color, but they just worry about the sides, not so much the design of the shape. So let's see, we have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven different sides here. So seven sides, this one might be new to us. Seven sides is a heptagon. So most people know, obviously triangle, quadrilateral. You know what four-sided figures are as far as rectangles, or not rectangles, well, rectangles and squares. But we need to know like the generic term quadrilateral for any four-sided figure. Pentagon, most people know. Sometimes hexagon. Heptagon is the one that a lot of people don't really know. So seven sides is heptagon. And then finally, we have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. A lot of us know this one, okay? Eight sides is an octagon. All right, so those, we're only going to talk about these right here. You have to have at least three sides. You can't have like a one-sided or a two-sided polygon. That doesn't make sense. It has to be at least three sides. So triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, hexagons, heptagons, and then octagons. Okay, so those are just the general shapes and kind of like what is a polygon.